Ow. Hey guys, welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 2, What's Nagashi, the finale, and the all-cast review session. Now, this episode is a little over an hour long, so make sure you've got your, Fruity Pebbles and comfy seat, and enjoy. Oh, the achievement locked. Who's that in the achievement? Shit, I was typing. The suspect is Mion Sonozaki. I'm 18, I'm saying 8 years old. She's suspected of having kidnapped 5 Higurashi residents between June 19th to 21st. Oryu, Shion, Kiryu, Rika, and Satoko. Preliminary investigations of the incident were delayed at the time due to insufficient evidence, but it was resolved coincidentally and shockingly. Okay, you guys have to read that for yourself. On the morning of the 23rd, a vehicle patrolling Sonozaki property heard screams from inside and rushed in as an emergency measure. They secured the suspect's missing younger sister, Shion Sonozaki, and her twin missing classmates, Punchy and her 2 missing Rinryogu. The suspect fled the scene. So if one they take it, Shion's gonna die anyway. Deep in the detached basement of the Sonozaki property, which is believed to have been used to kill those who disappeared, we discovered hairs, flakes of skin, blood, etc. of the other 4 missing persons, Oryu, Kiryu, Rika, and Satoko. We concluded that the missing persons were tortured in the torture chamber. However, their remains have still not been found. At one of her imprisoned classmates' advice, we continued searching the detached basement of Sonozaki property, which was where they were imprisoned, believing that they were there. However, we still have not located them. In addition, investigations are continuing to her participation in the serial freak deaths incidents of recent years, thinking it would give some clue, but no evidence that Mion Sonozaki was involved, either directly or indirectly, has been found. There are still many unclear points to the motive behind the incidents, and those of the Sonozaki family and the residents of Hinozawa have been extremely uncooperative, insisting us. We expect to require such a long... So close! The opinion of a local officer knowledgeable of the region is that this has been a lynching, an internal form of punishing sacrilegious acts carried out against the beliefs of Hinozawa village. It's clear that these incidents are particularly rooted in this region, and the prefectural police department has ordered a cautious investigation. Oh god. We anticipated gaining invaluable clues from the missing persons believed to have been in prison for the longest time, Shion Sonozaki, the suspect's younger sister, but her mind was stricken by the grave after effects of the incident, and she has not been in a state of mind to properly answer any questions about what she knows. The psychiatrist concluded that she is in a temporary state of shock, but it seems hopeful that she will recover today. Oh jeez. Only a few days passed since that time. After that, I was rescued by Oishi-san and subordinates, whom Rena had called in. Aside from my entirely blank state of mind, I had no external injuries. The most I had was a small burn mark from where the stun gun hit me. As I was having a checkup in the hospital, Oishi-san asked me all sorts of things, but I don't really remember what he asked or how I answered him. From what I heard, surprisingly, Mion still hadn't been captured. There were apparently a great many hallways and smaller rooms extending out from the depths of the prison. It wouldn't be strange if she had fled onto one of those hidden herself. The one unfortunate aspect amidst all the misfortune was that Shion had been safely secured by the police. Weirdly though, Mion said it's like she's long overdue essentially. When I last saw Mion, she seemed like she was going to take me with her and then kill me. She probably didn't have enough time to, though, since Oishi came running in faster than she predicted. That was the only really fortunate thing to have happened. Of course, the rescued Shion, despite having no external wounds, now had a deep wound in her heart. She was in a severe state of confusion when they rescued her, and apparently she bit the police officers trying to resist. From what he heard, she was seeing Mion in everyone she saw, hated not only the hospital, but even her own home, and had shut herself up somewhere in Shishibone, hiding her location. Additionally, in fear that Mion would come for her, she was moving from place to place every day, and even her parents weren't sure where she actually was. Wherever she was living, even now, Shion was spending her days in fear of Mion's shadow. Oh, I see. That's why Shion eventually is going to die. The police were investigating the Sonozaki's underground storehouse at this moment, since they couldn't find the remains of the other sacrifices. Hadn't Mion thrown the corpses into a well? I had a feeling I'd said that to him. That meant a hidden tunnel, vertical like a well, was somewhere in those underground passages. The secret underground, without any maps or architectural drawings, which had swallowed up the remains of Rika-chan, Satoko, and everyone else, was still unwilling to speak the truth. I was brought back to the basement again, too, for an on-the-site inspection or something. But I didn't remember being of any help. I never wanted to go back there again. Punchy said it rough, but he survived. For days afterwards, the Sonozakis living in Okinomiya, in other words, me and Shion's parents, the big-name Yakuza, would come to our house to apologize, bringing many of their followers with them. However, much my parents refused it, they piled up many 100,000 yen bills, calling it consolation money, every day. The amount of money grew each day, and after it passed 2 million yen, they were then given an envelope containing a letter. I don't know what was written in that letter. My parents talked about it by themselves for 2 whole nights, and decided to move away. Oh, this is a lot better than the first Punchy. Oh, but Rena, I see. You're moving, huh? When? At the end of next month. I won't even have been in Hinamizawa for half a year. I'll be lonely. I'm the only one left. Rena smiled sadly. If I just said yeah, I thought I could make her even more lonely, so I changed the subject. Here's something to think about. That's how I broached it. Mion hadn't actually fled, but had been demoned away in the truest sense of the term. Where she went after she disappeared, that we didn't know. What was there where she had disappeared to? I hope there was a hobby shop dealing in imports, the kind of Mion liked. In that place, she would definitely be free from the burdensome fetters of her family, and live not as Mion Sonozaki, but just as Mion, and enjoyed herself. Maybe she's already met up with Sotoko and Rika-chan. They must have also have been waiting for the day Rena and I would join them, spending all their time doing club activities, as lively as they always were. When I told Rena that, she smiled and nodded to me. The incidents the Sonozaki family had been trying so hard to hide, too, were exposed to the magazines from this single tiny seam. The serial incidents of recent years were all pulled up like a long vine in the ground, one by one, and for many days. News of it was brought up on talk and variety shows. The shows, which were comedic and silly, never once tried to touch upon the grim, heavy history that Mion had been bearing. It made me mad to see them bring up this stuff in jest, but there was nothing I could do about it now. How big an impression would these short few weeks I spent in Himazawa have on my life? During these few weeks, I met my best friends and had the best experiences of my life. I would probably never forget it for as long as I lived. As for those distorted images of me and that the media created, after the masses got tired of treating her like a plaything, they would ball her up, throw her in the trash, and then she would fade from their memories. As somebody, as one of the few people who knew the real Mion, I must always make sure I remember her. Beyond any doubt, that will surely become my offering to her. The sky reached so far up, and towering cumulonimbus clouds floated through it. The real summer was just before our eyes. Even now, whenever 10 p.m. came around, I would expect a phone call from Shion, or Mion rather. Now that everything was over, of course she would never call me. But it's precisely because she wouldn't call me that I was scared of who would call me this time. Plus, Mion still hadn't been caught. I couldn't say for sure that everything was completely over. On the other side of that fear, though, were my prayers that Mion was safe. When I thought like that, I was able to sleep. Even with such terrifying thoughts. The lights were off. Before her attacking when the lights were off was something that scared me. However, that feeling changed to regret within 2 days. The moonlight filtering through the gap in the curtains shone onto the desk and illuminated a doll. That's right, the doll that I should have given to Mion that day. She said that it was an import from England or something, and it was all the rage, didn't she? From what Shion said, the most popular among them were the ones wearing the fluffy dresses. After being released from the incident, the first place I went to was that toy store. Everything was apparently sold out besides the things on the storefront displays. I was refused once when they said they wouldn't sell the displayed products, but when they realized I was Survivor A from that incident, they immediately consented. Of course, even if I bought it, I might never have the chance to give it to her again. Even knowing that, I waited for the opportunity to give it to her. I waited like this for the opportunity, with it on the desk so I could give it to her at any time. Oh, I don't want to see her again though. Plonk. There was a weird noise. There was noise I wasn't used to hearing. Oh god. It was too big to be raindrops. It was completely different from the sound lost bugs make when they ram into fluorescent lights. I figured I must have misheard it and nestled back into my futon. Plonk. The noise happened again. I wasn't hearing things. I definitely heard it. Where was it coming from? I got up and turned on the light. Oh god. Okay. If there was a second, there would be a third. From where though? I listened carefully. Plonk. The window. Some sort of pebbles were colliding with my window. When I realized they weren't being blown there by the wind, but rather being thrown by a person, I gave a start. I looked at the clock. It was 2 a.m. Who would it be at a time like this? I quietly peeked out the front through the gap in the curtains. In the light of the gate, despite being so late, I saw someone. They picked up a piece of gravel and threw it at this window. It hit the window and made a plonking noise. Who was it? Ah! I caught my breath in surprise. If my eyes weren't deceiving me, that person was Mion. I threw open the window and looked at the figure again. My eyes certainly weren't deceiving me. It was Mion. It was Mion. She was alive. Mion pressed her index finger to her lips and made a shh motion so I wouldn't shout. If she had it, well, I was nearly about to cry out. Mion was in a very delicate position right now. Even if we're in the middle of night, I shouldn't call out her name. I waved her, gesturing I'd be right over, and flung on my coat atop my pajamas and flew out the door. Did you get the doll? I quickly hit the brakes before just going down the stairs. Although happiness was sprouting within me, I had the sad feeling that this would be our final parting. So I went back to my room again and grabbed the doll. If there was a God, I don't think I would ever have thanked him as much as today. Even if it would be the last time we saw each other, I was so grateful for this one chance to give it to her. I slipped into my sandals, unlocked the door, unhooked the chains, and leaped out of the house. This is not safe, Punchy. Ha, ha, Mion. Ahaha, it's been a while. How are you? Been doing alright? It was like how we used to meet every morning. Mion waved to me and responded like she always did. It was doubtlessly Mion. It was the real Mion. Are you alright hanging around a place like this? I really shouldn't be. She certainly wasn't acting like she knew the police were following her. It was almost like she was a patient who had gotten tired of staying in the hospital and snuck out. Her speech was relaxed enough to make me think that, and I couldn't help but be surprised. That relaxation, I thought, was more like Mion, and I was happy for it. Anyway, what's wrong? What do you need at this hour? I wanted to talk to you one last time. This is when I noticed them. On Mion's forehead were big droplets of sweat. Her expression too, which I thought had been a satisfied smile, was upon closer expression trembling slightly, and I realized she was forcing it. Well, oh, I'm hiding behind my mic. I can't stay for any longer. The pain was beginning to enter her words as well, as if just smiling was a feat for her. Are you alright? Are you not feeling well? I tried so hard until now, but I can tell I'm done. This is my limit. They're about to come up behind me to take me away. Mion's smile crumbled and started to stiffen. Did she push herself this much to calm this weight for me? Her laughter cut off and changed to rough breathing. I reached out to rub her back, but she knocked me away. Are you okay? Don't force yourself. Oh, that's right. I had something to give you, Mion. This doll. I'd wanted to do this one last thing, because I knew how little time he had left. But this last thing, it... Oh. Oh no. Yeah, see, I knew this wouldn't end well for you, Punchy. Gah. Gah. My stomach is burning. Mion took a meat cleaver-like knife and then stabbed me and pushed it in tight and took it and twisted it. Mion? Hey, what? What? It hurts. I made it. I made it. Crazy bitch. I cowered on the ground. My stomach was so hot, it was almost spewing fire. Mion watched it, then took a few steps back and cackled. I've done it! I've done it all! That's everyone I wanted to kill! Yeah, see? This is actually what I thought would happen in the underground. Last words from me and left for the day came back to me. After today, Mion will never come back. From today on, even if my body is here, a body is all it will be. By then the demon will have taken over. The demon. The demon. The demon. Oh, shit, there it is. Me, on. This can't. I thought we had finally been able to meet. This can't. Mion. In a pool of blood of my own design, is that all I brought from Mion dyed in red. So red. Mion. The good fortune having been allowed to meet Mion once more, and the misfortune that the meeting being torn apart before my eyes. Should I be grateful or curse it? My emotions were neither of those, as my consciousness sunk deep into a black swamp. The doll I bought from Mion, the blood had ruined it. No matter how I scrubbed and scrubbed, it had needlessly been ruined. The sad moon was so white, it looked frozen. Oh god, Punchy. We had a good run. June 28th, 558. A violent incident occurred in Higurashi Village, Shishibon City, XX Prefecture. The victim was Punchy Maibara, also victim of the previous strings of disappearances. At around 2 AM, he was stabbed in the stomach with a bladed object by the suspect of the last case, Mion Sonozaki, and was gravely wounded. He was discovered when his parents woke up and was then just transported to the clinic. He escaped death. Oh, nice! The criminal fled the scene. Huh. Look at that! Punchy pulled out. On the same day at approximately the same time, a fall accident occurred in Kamishaka apartment complex in Shishibon City. The victim was Shin Sonozaki, also a victim of the previous string of disappearances. Late in the same night, neighbors overheard her having a big fight with someone and informed the manager. The manager used a master key to enter the room and discovered that the victim had fallen over the 8th floor balcony to her death. Around the same time? That doesn't make sense. The room had been torn apart and appeared to show traces of a fight. One neighbor has frequently visited the Sonozaki house for a long time and testified that he heard the sound just like two sisters having a fight, trading insults back and forth. We believe that this is related to the injury case that occurred the same day in Higurashi Village, perpetrated by the same incident suspect, and did a thorough search of the room, but we could not find any traces that would have... Damn it. The victim fell straight down into the foliage of a parking strip. Her neck broke and she died immediately. Oh, Shion. Her clothing was disheveled, and markings that would imply a scuffle. We also believe, however, it could have been an insanity-induced suicide attempt based on her particular mental state of the victim after the incident. We're conducting a thorough examination on fronts, suicide and homicide. Poor Shion. Well, she did say she was destined to die, but... Holy crap, Punchy's alive at the end of this arc! I would have never guessed it. Also, we're pushing on an hour because I know it's not... probably can't be over. Some little details at the end. Yep. Ah. So, I'm gonna break this up into 2 videos. Only for 5 minutes, understand? Please try not to excite him. Yes, yes, I'll be careful. Clack. The door opened, And as I expected, Oishi-san came in. Hello, Mirabaro-san. It's been a while, hasn't it? Tell me, how have you been since then? The doctor says my post-operative recovery seems to be going smoothly, but I think it got worse when I saw your face. No, ha ha, you wounded me. As Oishi-san gave a laugh that smelled of sweat, he handed Mom a bag of assorted candies he must have purchased from the souvenir corner on the first floor of the hospital. Excuse me, Mrs. Mirabara. Would it be possible for me to talk to Punchy-kun for just a few moments? Mom clearly wasn't pleased at the thought of a police officer talking to her son without her there. However, I insisted. Mom, sorry, just a little while. Just 5 minutes, okay? Though grudgingly, Mom left the room. When she closed the door, Oishi-san grinned wildly and looked around the room. A room to yourself? How high class. My old lady always gets a shared room, you know. It's quite lively, however. Seems like you're a higher rank if you have a worse disease in places like that. The sicker you are, the prouder you are, or maybe the more arrogant. Oishi-san, we only have 5 minutes. I would like it if these were the last 5 minutes we ever saw each other. I don't have any connection to the Hinamazawa anymore, and this isn't Hinamazawa anymore either. Yes, because there aren't any general hospitals in Okinomiya. Mind if I take a seat? Down we go. This was a large university hospital in Chishibon City. It was splendidly urban, entirely different from the likes of Hinamazawa and Okinomiya. It was hard to believe that Hinamazawa was part of the same city. When does it look like you'll get transferred? Dunno. I'm ready to go whenever though. Our moving plans were delayed a little because of my serious injury. My parents had already left the house in Hinamazawa though, and were living in our new one. They planned to have me transfer hospitals to be closer to the new house once I'd recovered enough to be taken there. Please don't come where I'm transferring. I really will get worse then. Man, you really do hate me. It may just be my job, but that stings. That's why I brought you all kinds of lovely souvenirs in atonement. You didn't need to bring me an assortment of cookies for that. Well, you see, there aren't actually cookies in there. Look. Oishi-san pulls open the can of cookies and... What? Ow! I'm stretching my scar. I didn't know what you were into, Maribara-san, so I bought you all sorts of things. See? All sorts of cute-looking ones, like from westerns to comic strips. Lately they have all sorts of H manga aimed at girls too. What? Don't bring porn in here. Take them away and go home. Oh. No. I thought for sure a healthy young person like you would be feeling a little needy being cooped up in a place like this for so long. If you stay here for too long, the only face you'll end up with is a nurse one, you know. There are plenty of other beautiful things in this world besides nurses, after all. Don't decide what to major in now. Keep your options open. You need to be a more all-around type of person. I gave Oishi's vulgar laughter a pained grin. Somehow or others, I understood. The fact that Oishi-san was bringing it up like this meant he must have had something important to talk about. The incident with Shion-san really was unfortunate. The night I was stabbed by Mion, Shion fell from our balcony and died. They said the police was investigating all possibilities, accident, suicide, and homicide, but it could have only been Mion's doing. Mion found out where Shion was hiding, and pushed her down to her death. Nothing else was conceivable. It couldn't have been an accident. It was Mion. It had to be. The criminology guys are saying it had to be a suicide, but I'm of the same opinion as you, Maribara-san. She pushed Shion and also stabbed you. In one night. Has Mion still not been found? Oh, that's right. That's what I came here to tell you today. Yes, we actually did find her. What? Ow. Learning that felt rather strange to me. I was partly relieved that the incident was truly over, and I was partly sorry that my best friend had finally been caught. I felt many other things too. My heart was a maze of emotions. That's not all. In the Sonosaki House catacombs, we found a hidden well. Just as you said, Maribara-san, we found the remains of all those who disappeared at the bottom. I see. That sliver of hope, that possibility I'd believed in, that Rika-chan and Satoko were alive, just from the fact that remains hadn't been found, gone. It was incredibly well hidden in those catacombs. I mean, it was in the blind spot of another blind spot. It was a vertical tunnel dug out like a well. There was a ladder set up there, and when we went all the way down, there was another tunnel built. They were going through it. When we followed it a few hundred meters, we found ourselves at the mouth of an old, unused well in the mountains. I wonder if it was a secret escape route a previous Sonozaki family later built. Probably was. Maybe it was made in the Meiji era. Still, I'm impressed they built something like that. So everyone's remains were at the bottom? Yes. Even deeper down the escape path there was a pool of coal tar. They'd been casually thrown in there. They'd fallen in from fairly high spots, so their remains were totally buried in it. It took a lot of time and effort to pull their bodies up. Did you find them all? I hoped that they at least wouldn't find Rika-chan and Satoko. That's what I wished for when I asked, but my shallow hope was crushed in the blink of an eye. Yes, all of them. In fact, we also found human bones we think are over a decade old. We think there are at least 30 people. I suppose it's the dark side of Hinamizawa's history. I wonder how many people's bones we'll find when we sucked out all the mud. It's a scary thought. That weight's been pushing down on Mion's shoulders the whole time. Mion. We've currently identified people who disappeared from Shishibone City decades ago. People are talking about how this opportunity might let us resolve the disappearing person's case that they have abandoned. After a deep silence, he breathed a heavy sigh. Uishi-san went for the cigarettes to pass the time, but he realized this was a non-smoking area, so he gave up and put them back in his shirt pocket. Oh right, this is a bit of a detour, but you know Rika Furude-san, right? Of course, she's my friend. Did she ever tell you anything along the lines of her regularly taking insulin injections for diabetes? No? Rika-chan had diabetes? I didn't know what he was talking about. Actually, we found it in her skirt pocket. A syringe. It was destroyed though, so we couldn't identify the medicine. It was a bit out of place, so I got interested. You really don't know anything. I didn't know anything about Rika-chan carrying syringes around with her. The Sonozaki family incorporates, the Yakuza people. Anyway, there's rumors that they deal in psychostimulants. I was thinking this might have something to do with it too. Are you trying to tell me that Rika-chan is a drug addict? No, not at all. This isn't what I'm saying. It just seems strange however you look at it. That she would bring a syringe with her on her way to get soy sauce. I have no idea what any of this means. My eyes are spinning. I feel sick. Oof. I don't know what's happening anymore. Are you alright? Should I call a nurse? I'm fine. Please continue. Well, that's all I had to say about the syringe. It was the only thing that personally struck me as interesting. Rika-chan. Rika-san was sort of like the village mascot, after all. It looks like the village is in uproar right now, between the older blind believers and the Sonozaki family who killed her. The three families' effective control over the village is basically in shambles too. If someone came up to them to talk to them again with this sort of timing, the entire village would be abandoned for sure this time. I'm not related to Hinamizawa anymore. I actually was. I just said it because the thought of Hinamizawa being abandoned was unpleasant, and I wanted to end the conversation quickly. There was a knock at the door. It opened slightly and my mom asked if we were still talking. Whoops! We went off topic, didn't we? What a pickle. I looked at the clock. 5 minutes were long past. He told my mother something he really wanted to ask and if she could wait a little longer. Is that so? Keep it short, okay? There wasn't any getting around the fact that she was thinking about what a police officer could be talking to her son about. Maybe we should choose another day for this. Uishi-san. Mion. How is she right now? I want just to hear an answer and then get rid of him. Before I tell you that, I just need one more thing from you. I just need you to answer something in all honesty. What is it? I want you to take your answer seriously, got it? If you say something indiscreet, it could be viewed as an obstruction of the investigation and you could be prosecuted. Uishi-san kept threatening me until the end. What the hell did he want? Miyabara-san, who do you think the criminal was who pushed Shion from the balcony? There's no way it could be anyone but Mion, is there? Then who was the one who stabbed you? Please don't make me say it again. It was Mion. Mion Sonozaki. Oishi-san smiled bitterly and then dabbed his forehead with a handkerchief to wipe his sweat. You should have expected that answer, and he looked as though he wasn't satisfied with it. She pushed Shion and stabbed me. Didn't you just admit yourself that Mion was the criminal? The evidence that we have that Mion killed Shion is based on testimony from the man living next door. The neighbor is actually a member of an organized crime group. In other words, he was Shion-san's bodyguard. It seems he's a veteran leader in that vein, and was like a parent to the Sonozaki sisters growing up. That man said this. The noise he heard from next door was just like the sound of a fight between the sisters that he was used to hearing when they still lived together. And no, there is no doubt about it. He said he heard Mion and Shion insulting each other and heard them struggling. At first, though, he thought it was a hallucination she was having, brought on by her dementia. He thought that because of that sort of ruckus had been occurring every night. However, that night had been longer than the rest, and he claimed that he went to her room to give her a sedative. The noise died down, and while he got the manager to give him the key, he had already decided he'd at least check up on her, and after she wasn't answering his calls, they took the plunge and unlocked the door. When they saw that the room was a mess. Since Shion had been pushed over the balcony, they decided it had to have been Mion, and that's how it happened. In other words, he only heard from the other side of the wall. Plus, because the apartment complex is connected to their organization, it doesn't have many residents, so they were the only ones who heard it happening. To reiterate, there was only one person who witnessed Mion Sonozaki. Even if he didn't see her, isn't that obviously Mion's doing? Now settle down. This is what I'm saying. It means you are the only one who saw Mion Sonozaki for sure last night. After all, Shion-san and the other witnesses is no longer alive. Shion-san, the other witness, is no longer alive. What are you trying to say? I don't really understand. At this point, Oji-san paused. The fact that this was no smoking air completely slipped his mind, and he took out a pack of cigarettes again. Kerchak, he lit one with his lighter, and exhaled a long stream of tobacco smoke. Were you really stabbed by Mion Sonozaki? Yes. There's no doubt about it. The smoke Oishi-san breathed out floated away, like thunderclouds swept away by the wind. Oishi-san, you can't smoke in here. The nurses will get mad. Actually, we found Mion Sonozaki at the bottom of the well, too. What? She fell to her death. We believe that she was trying to escape the hidden passage in the well. Her foot slipped while climbing down the ladder. She fell to the bottom, broke her neck, and died. Yes, the same way as Shion-san. She broke her neck. What are you talking about? After you passed out that day, Mion Sonozaki tried to escape using that hidden well, but her foot slipped and she died. As if beckoned by the corpses of the other sacrifices, she dropped down there. But that doesn't make any sense, does it? The autopsy came in the conclusion that she definitely died on that day. She didn't go back there after attacking you and Shion-san. She was already dead by then. My jaw was on the floor. There was absolutely no way that could be. Mion was the only one that stabbed me. It had to have been her. There wouldn't have been anyone else to do it. Then who attacked Shion and me? Who was it? The one who attacked you was someone who was Mion Sonozaki and yet not Mion Sonozaki. My mind had become a complete mess, and I was starting to lose my ability to think straight. Do you remember how Mio Takano-san died? Takano-san? Yeah. I think I heard that she was burned to death in some distant mountains. We learned that she was burned after being strangled to death. The Gifu station did the autopsy. It's a little bit strange. The results of the preliminary autopsy said that she had been dead for at least 24 hours. Since that was contradictory in their panic, they seem to have revised it to say that she died earlier that day. Despite me being an absolute wreck on what was going on with Mion, he was telling me there was even more on top of that? I didn't understand the complex things Oji-san was telling me. The result saying she had been dead for 24 hours, as our old criminologist says, is pretty damn reliable. So then, what would that mean? I've asked that question over and over. Oops. But on the night of the Watanagashi, you were with me at Takano-san, weren't you? I was. You also met her on the day before while setting up for the festival, right? I mean, I ran into her too. Yeah, I was with her then. She'd been dead for 24 hours. And that would mean she was already dead the day before the festival. Ha, that can't be. She was alive during the festival preparations. However, when you all slipped into the ritual storehouse, Takano-san was already dead. The origin of all that happened. The beginning of everything. Our intrusion in the ritual storehouse, which I had come to regret countless times. The one who tempted me, Takano-san. When she invited us to the storehouse, she was already no longer of this world. I am lost. There are too many dead people walking around in this incident. An incident caused by a dead person, and it ended by a dead person. Also, apparently, they're under pressure to revise the time of Mion Sonzaki's death, not to the day of the incident, but to right after she stabbed you. Probably pressure from the outside to get this incident wrapped up already. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't say a word about this to anyone. Oishi-san grabbed his jacket that was hanging on the chair, put out a cigarette with the bottom of his foot, started to pretend to wave away the smoke floating around. I've stayed too long. I've come here thinking I could at least end this incident as it applied to you, but it looks like it got even more baffling instead. Absent-mindedly, he walked toward the door, looking at me, unable to speak out of the corner of his eye. If it so happens that something comes up you want to talk about in the future, call me anytime. My business card is in those souvenirs from before. When that time comes, I'll pay you a visit with some wonderful souvenirs again. Oishi-san seemed to think I was still hiding something. That I, after all this, would be hiding something? I'm the one who things are being hidden from. I'm the one who wants to know. Then let us meet again one day. Take care of yourself. What the Jesus! Slam. I listened to the tap 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 of Rishi-san walking down the hallway. I still couldn't return from my state of bewilderment. You want to end this incident as it applied to me? What was over? Nothing was over. The incident was still continuing. What's going on? What the fuck? Oh! Hell fucking no, dude. Oh. Like, oh. Okay. Then slip, an arm covered in fresh blood, came out from underneath the bed. I wasn't that surprised. This was an illusion I was seeing, seized with fear. Punchy-chan, I told you, remember? I heard a guttural voice coming from under the bed. I still recognized it as Mion's voice. What, Mion? What did you tell me? I warned you on that day. After today, if you see me, it will be the demon that has possessed my body. You did. You said that, didn't you? Sorry. Guess I wasn't careful enough. That's why I got stabbed. Possibly a wound sustained from when she felt the ladder. Many of her fingernails were broken and torn. Her arm slowly felt about the top of the bed, searching for mine. Oh, hey, Mion. I just, thought of a good joke. Want to hear it? The Mion under the bed didn't answer. Well, let's say that I died here today, but tomorrow I'd still be here living a normal life. So when Oishi-san learned about it afterwards, the time of death wouldn't make sense once again. He'd make a huge deal about how someone who should have died was alive, and he'd totally lose his head. Kano-san, then Mion, and then me third. So, funny, right? Makes you laugh, doesn't it? Punchy-chan, laugh. Or was it not that funny? Mion's bloodstained hands groped around and found my wrist. Though Her fingernails were torn. She gripped it hard, as if scratching me. Ow, ow, ow. Go easy. Ow, it hurts. Punchy-chan, I've come for you. I tried to shake my wrist loose, but the strength she held it with was unbelievable, and I couldn't. She was only gripping one wrist, yet my whole body wouldn't move. I couldn't even twitch. My fingers were spread apart, and I couldn't make a fist either, and the fact that I couldn't make a fist reminded me of the restraining table. Oh, hell no. You're kidding me. You're fucking kidding me. I felt a crooked nail press against my left fingertip. Oh, okay. I thought I imagined everything. Well, that's scary. Hey, wait a minute. There, she can't stand behind my bed. We saw a picture earlier. There's a wall right there. Anyway, Mion's forehead was split open, and with the face covered with blood, she smiled, got right up just behind me. Nothing was over. Nothing was over. The incident was far from being over. It was still going on. It was still happening. Someone please end this incident. This cruel, tragic, unfortunate, sad incident. Please end it. That is my only wish. I granted you one. Before, remember? You don't get any more. Lots of laughs. Mion firmly held the nail down on my fingertip. And with her other hand, she slowly swung the mallet up into the air and Higurashi when they cry. Woo! Although Mom and Usha isn't too far away. All cast review session. Alright, extra. Let's get to it. This is going on 1 hour 15 minutes. This is definitely going to be broken up. I just wonder if I'm going to have it, how I'm going to have it. Alright, let's go to extra. Oh, I could have done a chapter jump earlier when I messed up. I was just after we broke out of the, I came out of the storehouse and had to I just hit skip and let it all fast go through, and now I could do a chapter jump. Anyway, all cast review session. I always love these. You know what? Let's see. 1 hour. If this were 1 hour 30 minutes, it might have to be 3 episodes. So I hope we do 2, but it's gone over. Thank you very much for enjoying Higurashi When They Cry. What's Nagashi? How did you like the story this time? If you enjoyed it even a little, I'm happy. A little nothing? Not again. It was a huge bad ending, was it not? It was enough to make me simply furious. I'm furious. Well, good work everyone. Well, that's how it ended. But don't you think the story was kind of like a Mion chapter? I'm extremely satisfied how big a role I played in it. You can't have such a thing as success. Rick and I got killed too, didn't we? None of this concerns Satoko at all either. Oh, it's cold but so right. Satoko was literally just there and just died just because of inconvenience. I didn't want to die like that. Now, don't cry. There was a story centering on Mi-chan, so there probably will be one centered around Satoko-chan too. Oh, that'll be scary. Look forward to it. Satoko would definitely be getting attacked by a crowd of weirdo bullies and abused to death. I don't want that. Wah. Oh, Jesus. Mi-chan? If you joke around too much, you'll make me angry too. Mi has a flat chest. Your mind wouldn't understand even if it wanted to be petted. What? Oh, they expanded. Your body's so unchaste. Hey everyone! Great work! Sorry we're late again. Tomitaki-san, Oishi-san. Yes, you did a great job as well. Where are Takano-san and Shion-chan? The Kami, of course. Thank you for inviting us today. May I sit here? Oh, Shion, we missed you. Yes, go right ahead. This is... I always love these end chapters, they're so funny. Well, all of us here, this is sure to be the best part. Please go easy on me. Then should we get started? Is this everyone? Everyone but Punchy. Which means Miyabaru-kun still doesn't have a portrait. So are we going to read the scripts for the next story immediately? How unfortunate. It doesn't feel right to leave him out. Miya-san, you don't have to worry about that. At times like these, going all out is basically a way of showing consideration. That's true, isn't it? We're all here for once. Holding a wake would be boring. Sorry, Punchy-kun, but we'll take things from here. Go ahead, guys. It's decided. Okay, everyone, get the cups. Does anyone not like carbonated drinks? There's alcohol for the adults, too. Rika-chan, what will you have? Cola? Juice? Me? I want what Tomotake's having. Ho ho! Ho ho! Hey! Rika-chan, you're not allowed to drink! Has everyone got their cups? If we don't make a toast soon, my juice will get warm. Who will lead? Mion? Rena should do it. Okay, Rena, go ahead. Then, everyone, excellent work. The Watanagashi chapter is now over. Thank you. Wah! Insert applause. Okay, everybody's here. Shall we debate the story again? I think so. Then let's get some honest opinions. Does anyone have something to say? An honest opinion. Was the story this time not an answer chapter? The criminal was Mion-san. The root of all the evil was the Sonozaki family. Was that not the conclusion? I see. I was so sure that Michan wasn't the criminal. Too naive. This was entirely predictable from the previous Onikakushi chapter, was it not? In fact, it's almost shocking how predictable it was. Kind of, but more of, I knew Shin would be a villain because of her, like she had an insane form. You're right. It probably did align with most of the predictions made by players of the previous scenario. It's like the story went exactly as everyone expected. Well... Then does that mean the main Higurashi when they cry scenario is pretty much over? So it's a sure thing that the root of everything was Michan's family? I wonder. In fact, I think this all means that the theory of the Sonozaki as being the guilty party has been disproven. Oh, you had the same opinion, Mio-san. I think the same way. Though I still don't believe in curses. At the very least, however, I think the chances of the Sonozaki family being the true criminals has gone down. Yeah, this got really confusing at the end. Huh? Why is that? Didn't Michan confess that she killed everyone? That's right! She killed Rika and me, so what does that mean? That she isn't the criminal after all? I'm not trying to confuse you or anything. It's just that I think there are a lot of things that don't go along with Mion being the one behind everything. If you think about it a little, you'll get it. Huh. I'd believe the truth to be more or less in line with the Sonozaki family theory. But I'd love to hear your theory, Mion-chan. Then hear me out. Near the end, I confessed that I'd participated in the past incidents, right? I thought something wasn't really right about that, so I guess that's my basis. I mean, think about it. If the incidents of the past were caused by the Sonozaki family, that would be crazy. I mean, wouldn't they all be perfect crimes? They were all attributed to other criminals, or simply accidents after all. Well, that's right. The Sonozaki family is powerful, very powerful, and they were acting behind the scenes. Wouldn't pulling off perfect crimes be child's play for them? That's just it. That's the weird thing. The Sonozaki family had been killing and erasing people so well for the last 4 years, they didn't even let out a hint they were behind it, right? But the incident in the 5th year, now that was really cheap. They were killing and erasing people at random. Any idiot could have seen the connection with the Sonozaki family. Now that I think about it, you're right. The incidents in the past were all mysterious and nobody could tell if they were because of the curse or just simple crimes. But then, on the 5th year, they suddenly got really violent. I do not understand what you are saying. Rika, do you? She means that if the Sonozaki family were the real criminals, then they would have done a much better job with the incident on the 5th year. So what does that mean? Mion-san wasn't the only one who killed Rika and me, but it was the work of the demon who possessed Mion-san? Come now, just like I thought last time, Mion-san wasn't a bad person after all, was she? That's right. Satoko-chan and I both thought that she was doing bad things because she was possessed by something. Then, does that mean our theory was right? I've been supporting the curse theory since the last after party, and the story this time makes me all the more convinced it's true. The fact revealed at the very end, the information regarding how Mion-san and Takano-san had died days before, despite being witnessed, and seems to indeed support that theory. Oh my. I see the curse believers who seemed unconfident last time have grown quite a bit more self-assured. Do any of those who think it was a human have any objections? Last time, Mi-chan and Rika-chan were the ones who thought it was the work of a person. Tomitake-san too, didn't he? Okay, let's hear what you've got then. You got me there. I can't quite find the right words. One of those pieces of evidence for the curse theory is the mismatching time of deaths, right? So if I could disprove that theory, it would prove that a human did it, wouldn't it? Oh, Shion, do you have a good objection? Well, I suppose. I have the same opinion as you, Mion, that it was a human, but I don't think the Sonozaki family were the main culprits either. If it's okay with you, I'll offer my objections. Woohoo! Show us what you've got. If you say it wasn't the curse, then let's hear your evidence. Okay, Shion-chan. That's the last trick we've been talking about. Despite Mion-chan having died the day of the incident from falling into the well, how did she appear days later to kill you and Punchy-kun? Here it is, my Sonozaki sister's conspiracy theory. My reason is simple. If Mion was dead by that time, then the only one who could have stabbed Punchy-chan was me. I disguised myself as Mion and stabbed him. Then I went back to my room, pretended to have tussled with the ghost and jumped right down and killed myself. Well, if she was mentally disturbed, I guess that could have helped. So when you got down to it, Mion-chan in this case would be the one to take the blame. She would take care of the mayor in person, and Shion-chan would be made into merely a victim. Huh. If she hid herself in the well, and the disguised Shion-chan could show up where she pleased and murder whoever she wanted, all planned from the start. I get it. Then Mion-san made two mistakes. First was that her corpse was found, and second was dying when she only planned to hide. If that's what it would mean. Oh well now. You're right, there's something logical about that. I'm confused. However, I'm still not convinced. It was too different from the magnificent perfect crimes in the past. Even if their plan went well, Mion would end up the bad guy, wouldn't she? She would either have to hide for the rest of her life, or live pretending to be Shion, wouldn't she? That would be too constrained. You can't call that a perfect crime. In other words, whether by dying or disappearing, you would have to go away. Bigi-chan, that's a good thought. That means we should consider that Mion Sonozaki leaving the stage was part of the plan. That's why at the end, Mion took the blame for all the incidents in the past. She took responsibility for all of them herself and left. By doing that, she could cover up the true culprit behind the past incidents, which means that this incident wasn't shabby. Its purpose was to cement all the past incidents as perfect crimes. I suppose that's what it comes down to? Ah, I see. The young leader of the Sonozaki family, who was the biggest suspect, confessed to everything and disappeared. For her, or perhaps for the Sonozaki true culprit, or for the non-Sonozaki true culprit, there was likely no more favorable outcome. Interesting. I don't understand even an inch of your conversation. What do you mean by Mion-san taking the blame? Is she not the culprit? Let me put it in this way. The true culprit behind the freak death incidents was somebody else. Michan gave a fake confession that she caused all the previous incidents to protect that person, or so everyone's saying. My. I said this during the story, but it seems we have an incredible detective on our hands. Yes, it does seem a bit persuasive. An incident is starting to throw the scent off the true criminal. That's my reasoning. Though if I go further, I think the true culprit isn't part of the Sonozaki family. So was Mion-chan disrupting the incident to further protect the mysterious person who pulled off perfect crimes 4 years running then? That's right. The site foreman only appeared in name in the last story. Pretty suspicious if you ask me. Amazing. It really does all add up. Clap, 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 clap. Applause. Insert. I also think that the Sonozaki family and the sisters are the culprits though. The incident caused by the sisters to sever their old fetters to the three families to clear away the past. That's my theory. Clearing away the past? You mean that they placed the blame for the three families' crimes on their final leader, Mion, to put an end to a dark history, and then the two of them left? That's right. It would make a sad story, where we sisters finally chose to end it after a lot of worry. He went a little too far. Amazing. It really does all add up. Insert applause again. Wait, what? It looks like Rika-chan has an opinion too. Go ahead, Rika-chan. I have a question for you all. Why did Punchy need to get stabbed? We already know why that is, Rika. It's obviously because he went to the Forbidden Storehouse without asking. Thinking back on it now, Tomitaka-kun and Takano-san probably died in the previous story because they snuck into the storehouse, eh? That's what I was thinking. Hehe. That is rather strange indeed. Huh? What is it that's strange? Ah! Rena-san, that's right! Won't you think back, please? That's right. In the previous scenario, they were after Punchy-chan's life, even though he didn't sneak into the ritual storehouse. Yeah. Well, that's because... yeah. Hinazawa hates outsiders, right? That's why they tried to kill Punchy-kun. That would be strange, though. They should have attacked Punchy-chan's parents too in that case. I have noticed a distinct lack in parents being there. No matter how you look at it, though, his parents never seem to be in much danger. Either this time or the last. Hear that? Everybody who thinks it's a human's doing? Unless you can probably explain the reason Punchy-chan's life was threatened, you can definitely prove the criminal was human, can you? Oh, you can't definitely prove that the criminal was human, can you? Even with the curse theory, however, we don't know why Maribaro-san was attacked this time or last time. With a little more, we would have had it. Also, we never really touched on Satoshi this time. Like last time we drew parallels with him and me, or Punchy did at least. There's still a lot of mysteries remaining, and we've got 2 chapters with us. We can find some kind of a reason for everyone but Punchy-kun to die. But for some reason, Punchy-kun's death is always vague. Both this time and the last time. He was being targeted regardless of whether he went to the ritual storehouse. Then does that not mean he was doing something that got him killed both last time and this time? I see. If we can find something in common about Maribaro-kun's actions between last time and this time, it seems like it would be the key to unraveling all the incidents. I skimmed through the stories again, but I think he's going about his life his own way. Though aside from the part with the storehouse, I didn't spot anything suspicious about his daily lifestyle. Punchy-kun, what'd you do both last time and this time? Something that bad that would cause you to be killed? It's best to ask the person himself when you're unsure. Well, they gave me a call. Just like last time. Ho ho ho, so I was reading the script for the next game all by myself. You're all talking about me behind my back, huh? I see. Well, that's that. Anyway, Punchy-kun, you should try asking your own heart. Punchy-chan, so what kind of bad thing did you do that would get you killed? It must surely be all the violent things he does towards me. Squeezing my chest so tightly was surely a crime. Oh god, I forgot about that part. Yeah. Being happy all day surrounded by girls around his age is kind of like a crime in the first place. A grave crime indeed. Yabara-san is truly an envious main character, isn't he? Switch out with me once in a while, would you? Cool. Well, with all those perks, getting stabbed at the end really isn't much a price to pay. Oh, poor Punchy. Well, there you go, Punchy-san. Have you remembered the crimes you've committed? Ugh! Both this time and last time, I lived a proper, just life, and I always met a terrible fate in the end. What was that about ask my own heart? I'm the one who wants to know. This is bullying. How sad, how sad. I'll pet your head next time for you. I wonder if we should go back and read Ongakushi again after reading this one. I'm going to put myself in Mion's shoes and back over Watanagashi. Maybe I'll find something different compared to when I read it from Punchy-chan's point of view. I will always think that is the doing of a demon. All the events and tricks can be explained with a demon. It's kind of like a plasma. What did you, the readers, think about it? We'd certainly like to hear your thoughts and opinions. Through the mail. Is there an address? Alright guys, that was the end of Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 2, Watanagashi. And man, it was a total Shein fest, which I already guessed in the beginning. But yeah, they brought up a good point. What has Punchy done that deserves to be killed in everything, like every time? Last time I also thought it was just because he was an outsider, and this time I thought because of the storehouse, but I mean the characters are wondering it, giving us clues, so I'm not gonna ignore that. Wow, what a ride it's been. Started from like what, 4 months ago, stopping and starting being kind of spotty, but then just rolling out with everything like this time. My total timer for recording has been an hour 36 minutes, so I'm gonna have to cut these up into quite a few. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. I hope you enjoyed me reading it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in chapter 3 because I've already got it. Bye bye.